Welcome, Nature Infused Ash here. Just to let the live start. As you slowly make your way in, welcome. Drop a hello in the comment. Let me know where you guys are from. And we'll get started. Okay. Nature Infused Ash here, foraging with Bigfoot. So tonight's show, we're going to touch on a topic of Sasquatch being portals themselves. So I had someone comment on the live from last week going, oh, do you remember when we talked about portals being like trees and stuff like that? So she made a good point where she said in her intuition told her that maybe Sasquatch could be portals themselves and possibly, shift at will. And I thought, wow, like it really resonated with what she said. Boom. Hello, Maynard. Welcome, welcome. As you guys tune in, just drop a hello in the comments. Let me know where you guys are from. Drop a like, subscribe. I'm never asked for that kind of stuff, but always appreciate you guys' support. But yeah, when she mentioned that, I was just like, wow, that resonated so much when she said, well, what if it's, Sasquatch being the portals? And I was like, wow. And, it kind of made sense. Hi, Kirsty, watching from Scotland. Welcome all the way over here in Canada. Hey, Mike. Nice to see you guys here. But I couldn't believe, I guess, how much I resonated with what she was asking. Because why couldn't they shift at will, right? Why couldn't Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Sabe be the portals themselves? Like, yeah. I was just like so inspired by what she asked and how she just came about saying that. And it dawned on me because we did talk about Sasquatch and how their hair could possibly, be used as changing the frequency, and that's what you see when you see them cloaking, right? So when they're cloaking or let's say jumping into different realms and stuff, they're switching frequency. So I was like, yes, totally on board with that. As I go on and feel into that more, please let me know what you guys think on Sasquatch being portals and shifting at will. I mean, I can say they've shown me and told me about, using frequency for tree breaks and going, yeah, like teleportation and stuff, right? Like if you were to use, again, when we were talking about coherence, if you were to touch something and become resonant to that frequency, why wouldn't we be able to shift? And what I've seen in nature is, something that falling into coherence and going into that quantum realm of being in your five senses and shifting at will, I can see it to be possible, especially if these beings, are capable and evolved like we all seem to think. So again, we'll ask the essence of the Sasquatch of Jane to come in and maybe, speak her wisdom through our group that we are creating here, and this frequency, right? As we gather and we shift, we can get higher. So I thought that was interesting. And I know, like, when I saw my, what's it called? When they were cloaking and I saw the Sasquatch, all shimmery, I was like, okay, so, again, they are literally, did he become in coherence with the tree, which I could see, like there's the bird, there's the shimmery energy, and then there's the tree, because I knew he was in the tree, within the tree, on the other side of the tree. It was all associated, that all that energy was interlinked somehow, right? So for them to maybe even be able to change their frequency with their hair, you know, Boom from the Midwest. Welcome, Tanya. But yeah, so I don't know. Definitely going to dive deep and see how that goes when we go into nature. But I really was inspired and thought, yes, it really felt that to be true. It really resonated, and go forward on that. And again, I don't know. Let me know if you guys have any questions. What have you experienced? Like, what are your thoughts, perspectives on Sasquatch being portals themselves? I mean, I guess if you're going in and out of so-called dimensions and realms, that again, you're adjusting your own frequency to be able to portal through these realms. So you can see that to be true, right? Again, everything is going to be to do with the energy, with them changing their frequency. Maynard, I will let you think on this encounter. I was hunting the edge of a bog, sun at my back, and two giant shadows appeared in front of me. I looked behind just to see nothing, looked forward again, and nothing, right? So again, are they changing? Because a lot of people, they only see them for a second. It's like a flash. So again, are they the portal coming in and out? And the shadow's still there, walking back and forth, and then walked off. Craig, welcome from South Carolina. Welcome. Right, and that's another thing that the lady mentioned was, because people like all of a sudden, what, like you see them and then all of a sudden they disappear as they're running, or you get that boom track, and I guess you can just physically make the boom print. But is it because they're just jumping into our realities? Who knows? I don't even know what to think about that. But definitely stuff we can all sit with and work with, right? So I know daily I tend to change my frequency, and again, it's like as we up level, as we evolve as humans and stuff like that, we're even with what's happening with the solar flares that come in, we're all like, supposedly our DNA and stuff is all changing, and I really feel that to be true, because some people are going to up level faster than others, and especially, how do you take care of yourself? Are you connecting with nature? Are you really falling into your five senses? Are you listening? Are you learning your lessons as they come? Maybe when cloaking, the shadow is still there. Well, and I mean, and I could see that to be true, because when I saw the one standing behind the lady I had on expedition, I was like, I can see the like, it's like all I could see with this big silhouette, I would say, shadow. But to me, it was more just like shadow silhouette. Was the physicalness of that being there, or was he just cloaking, and that's what was left, was just the shadow. So interesting. Hello, Sasquatch Confessions. Welcome. Nice to see you. Craig, Ash, doesn't the reality of all this scare you? It makes me nervous. I mean, yes, but see, as we, I don't know, like, I don't find it, I mean, I feel into it as I up level, so I guess, I mean, it depends on what you mean by, like, the reality. Could you give me more clarity with the reality? Because I mean, yes, when I went through one of my reality, what do they call it, falling into subliminal spaces, that scared me. And when I came back here, I was like, I'm never going to the forest again. But as my human self came back and I went through all those feelings, emotions, coming back into this humanness, it was like, yeah, I can't, I'm not going to take nature away from me. So it's just working through those nerves. You feel that the nervousness. It's like, okay, can I show up and do it anyways? I remember being thrown on my first live and I was like, there's no way I'm doing this. Freaking way. And I literally wanted to puke, because I was being put in a position that I didn't want, but it pushed that paradigm. It broke my ceiling, and now I love doing them. So it'll always make you nervous, but slowly work with that and keep moving forward. But never putting yourself in a dangerous situation either. Just Sasquatch can be in just shadow as well. I just read a book where women experience this in her house every night. Yeah. So, okay, Sasquatch. Well, yeah, you commented, so you know I read your comment on my broke the ice. Right. So I've had someone say when you're looking at a Sasquatch cloaking, it's no different than just pretend like, okay, there was like glass, not glass, but a thin layer of ice on the top of this cup and seeing through it. So that's how you can tell and start to get used to what you're looking for when something is cloaking. You can always, again, like I've said in the previous lives, take a picture, like where you think it's shimmery, there's something there, but you're just not quite sure. Take a picture, look at it, and then look at it with your natural, like with your own natural eyes, and then compare the picture and see if you can pick it apart. It's just ways to strengthen that ability within ourselves, right? Maynard, you listen to more encounters and sightings that people all live to tell the story. Take that into account. You listen to more encounters and sightings that people all live to tell the story. Right. I mean, I go to my I'll do is I'll put little signs of Sasquatch on my propane bottles just to see, because you're going to align to people that are on the same frequency. And this guy's like, oh, you camp with Sasquatch? I'm like, yeah. And then he found out, who we were and all of that. And he was literally lost in the wilderness. And he's like, nope, Sasquatch led me out. And that's the only reason I was able to come back to where I actually, my group was. And he's like, they're not evil. They totally will help someone in a situation. So just like me, when I thought I was lost and went down these weird subliminal spaces, quantum realms, I heard the two on my right, because there are always two on my right, that they're like, you better knock her out of here and help her before she actually loses it. And again, it's like they guided me, put me in a place where I would recognize with, no doubt. And I was like, okay. So, I mean, I do believe that most, and again, what's their intention when they go into the bush? If people are like going and wanting to kill and hunt them specifically, you're going to get that retaliation. What happens? Let's say you guys are in the bush, right? And all of a sudden there's this group of people that want to come and hunt you and find you. What are you going to do? You're going to go and hide. Why? So exactly it's the same thing, right? If you are just living in the forest and people are just randomly coming out and experiencing nature and connecting that way, you're not going to be caught off guard. You're going to have more of an awareness of why these people are there. All good, Julie. You've made it, so we're all good. Craig, yes, the actual experience. I mean, exactly the actual experience, no doubt. It's always intimidating. Now, again, it's the mind that wants to keep us safe. If we can get out of the mind and fall into our heart, it can help it. And really breathe. Like, our breath is so important when we're going through actual experiences. It's really grounding yourself to the earth, really sinking in with your breath, not falling into the mind, because the mind is programmed to keep us safe. And I mean, we're humans. We have that natural fight or flight response, right? Especially when we're coming to a being that, we're just discovering. And not just discovering. We all know it's there, but more interactions with. So Sasquatch confessions, the more I think of it like that, I've seen them cloaked many times. Yeah. And that's where I think I learned their energy. Like, I could feel their energy, and then I was presented with, okay, this is what it feels like. Now this is what it looks like. It's all interlinked, right? But just like us and everything else, it's all interlinked. Everything seems to be interlinked. Royal Creations, boom, welcome, Paul. I met Bigfoot once at night. He was just beating off. Okay, absolutely, Paul. Funny. Maynard, I'm gonna Rambo some shit if I'm hunted by a group. Yeah, right? Scared the heck out of me. Yeah, Paul, I bet it did. Shamalak. Shamalak. Peace to you. Peace to you as well, Royal Creations. A blurry phase almost. It comes and goes. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so coup from us, Yowie mob, down under. Yowie, welcome, welcome. Gooey. Julie, have you seen orbs when Sasquatch are around? No, I have not. Actually, first time. So when I was out with Kim and Katie, and Kim really helped me see, because when Sasquatch was there and it was at nighttime, this is where we saw the glowing green eyes, and they were around, but all of a sudden I noticed these little, but they were small, like they were more, I would call them more light beings than orbs. I have not seen orbs like this, right? Like, or big like that. They're so, when, just the same way as I see Sasquatch's energy, it's so minimal. Like it's just like sparkly, orby light. I call them light beings because they're smaller than orbs. And again, okay, well, no, actually, the first time I went on a Sasquatch expedition, when really got onto this, and I wouldn't call it an orb, it was a bright green. It's kind of like Northern Lights, but they weren't Northern Lights. So that's what I've seen with Sasquatch experiences, but not as much, not like every time. So I've seen a lot of Sasquatch, but not orbs. Never seen big orbs, only light beings. Sasquatch confessions. And again, you can see light beings when people are on video. So if they're of higher frequency, you can see them zipping around and stuff. It's pretty interesting. So that's kind of how I see orbs out with Sasquatch. But again, I'm going to call them, like I said, light beings. I think a lot of the scare is our own minds. Absolutely. That's why I say get out of the mind into the heart. Craig, a recent experience, didn't see the Sasquatch directly with his own eye, but did see it in a reflection. He noticed it later in a video of his. Perhaps that's a way to see them between dimensions. See, exactly. And that's where, because for some reason technology can kind of pick up on that. Again, go to my Alone with Bigfoot back in end of June, July. Notice what you notice. Maybe what I can do is, it takes so much work, but take the video apart and kind of show you what I've been shown by other people that have watched it, where Sasquatch possibly can be cloaking. I've had people say, well, can't you see that dog man right there? And it's like, no, but I can see it being Sasquatch when they pointed it out, because I've even went back to that area and I went, okay, so this, and then I would grab my phone and be like, yep, it's not there any longer. So again, it's just certain things we can work on. So definitely perhaps between dimensions, or was he cloaking and that's why you can only see the eye? Sasquatch got my 6. I have witnessed many orbs with Sasquatch. Again, how big are the orbs? Ginormous? Size of a tennis ball? A softball? I don't know. I have not seen orbs. And I ask you, Sasquatch Confessions and Julie. Hello, Melanie. Welcome. Have you guys seen orbs? And what was there? I was distracted, so wasn't going to ask you. When you're out in the woods, Sasquatch Confessions, is it during the day you're seeing the orbs? And it's like, is it really noticeable? Are they flying around? Like, how, when you witness the orbs and Sasquatch, what is happening in that situation? I hope that makes sense. Kirsty, Ash, I have these light beams you're talking about in my room, right? I have several videos of them. I can't see them without my phone. Right, exactly, because our phone is picking up a different frequency, and that's where, again, as we evolve, I believe we'll be able to see more of those, because I can only see them on film as well. I may have seen them once or twice off of film, but like, and it's hard. Was it just a dust particle that I saw with my own eyes? I don't know. Sasquatch confessions. We are dealing with so many different interdimensionals. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes only certain people can see as well. Yeah, I agree. Seen in all sizes myself. Cool. Always between 7 and 9 p.m. they move. They flash sometimes. They just blink in and out. Right. Okay. So like maybe once I could say, but when I saw though, I would say they were small and they would blink in and out. But I saw them. I'd say it was later than 9 when I saw them. It was when must have been around the 11 o'clock mark. But Sasquatch were present. River Morris. Ash, I'm a tribal elder down under. What's your take on shadow people? I'm experiencing them lately. Interesting. I want to say someone else mentioned shadow people. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I can't really. I guess is where are you seeing them? You know what I mean? Like, where are you experiencing them? What is going on? And when are they showing up? Is what I would ask you, River Morris. Melanie, thank you. Ash, you are welcome. Yes, I have seen orbs. It's just energy. I've seen it off film 2 times as well, but who knows, right? Right, it's all a learning for sure. Sasquatch confessions. The last time it happened, I was surrounded by 15 of them. I've experienced shadow people in my house. Tanya, I think in my area we have other types of elementals. I do see flashes of light around. See, exactly. So like even with them, and like we've touched base on this before, is Sasquatch just an elemental at the higher level? There's a lot of people out there that believe that that's true, and that's why they can go in and out of dimensions. You know, they're in the elementals of like fairies and stuff. Now I perceive fairy energy as sparkly energy again too. So this is how I see it, and I'll see them like in trees more so than and around mushrooms. But then I can really feel the energy, like it's high vibration. It's like, whoa, that's a shift, and it's like, what's here? And you can then feel them. And then again, are they playing tricks on you too, like fairies like to do? Maynard, all this orb talk, I have no more encounters and sightings of Sasquatch beings than I can count, and orbs are like non-existent or rare, and I mean rare. See, and that's, yeah. Yep, I feel you on that one, Maynard. It's rare for me as well. And again, I can speak for other people that we've had out in the bush. It's rare to see an orb, like extremely rare. River Morris, in the bush and around my house. Like, do they look like people? Like, would you say that is more of a I don't know anything about shadow people. And this is new. Like I would say, well, is it like a ghost, like a shadow person? Or is it, again, like, I mean, you can go down so many different rabbit holes with this, shadow people. So maybe it's just a Sasquatch cloaking, right? Are they leaving that shadow behind? Because I've seen shadows, but I would have assumed that they were more Sasquatch. And again, when I look back and these people show me videos, oh, this was a Sasquatch cloaking, I would say that looks like a shadow, right? So in the bush, I'd go, maybe it's just more something, or not something, but Sasquatch cloaking, going in and out of frequency. Sasquatch confessions, I was struggling in addicted back then. The negativity brings that stuff in. Right. Yeah. Ultra dimensional being. They love the cedar trees. Yeah, I love the cedar trees too. They're beautiful. Absolutely. Okay, so like they love the cedar trees. Are you talking about the shadow people or the orbs and Sasquatch? Sasquatch is just a high level that we are not aware of. Just my theory. And you know, that's, I'm aligned with that, Melanie. I do think they are evolved and they are higher frequency. They, Sasquatch, yeah. They are just, they know their abilities because they've never been disconnected like us, right? We're disconnected in so many different ways. But we can strengthen those connections back and work with them, right? Blacker than black. Interesting. Human body. Maybe fear causes shadow people to appear, to learn something from it, to cause chaos. To cause chaos, right? Wow, that's very interesting. And confusion, right? So what better way? Because something like that, like the darker energies want to have chaos and fear. What's the opposite of fear? It's love. So when you, and again, when this is when we encounter, Craig, when you were saying about the Sasquatch, when we come into that, you know, you're feeling fear. Okay, let's get out of our head. The opposite of fear is love. Let's go to our heart and breathe into that. Really breathe into the heart. And again, we're going into love. And then whatever we're projecting, which if we're in our heart is going to be more so love, and we'll get more of a positive reflection back, right? And again, that's where, are we respecting nature? Are we appreciating nature? All of that. I need to take a sip of water. Sasquatch Confessions. It sat on my bed. Oh yeah, leaned against my back. I rolled over and it punched me in the back of my neck. Wow. Yep. That's crazy. Maynard, I saw only one orb and only one. It was a basketball size, a blue-white, about 6 feet off the ground, going through the woods at night, really slow. See, that'd be an interesting experience. See, and I've heard more like stories around that, just randomly, that just moving slowly through this forest. And again, I think they're just their own frequency, own energy of themselves, not really associated with a Sasquatch. But again, that's Ashley's perspective. Craig, Ash, do you think older people, example 70, is too old to be able to change mindset? Absolutely not. If you have the correct mindset and you're truly working on adjusting your frequency, I mean, it might take a little more to be, if you're open to it, it'll happen fast. Doing the work consistently, letting go of the blocks. And again, it's, what did you learn? Now it's unlearning what we learned, because that's the killer. Everyone's like, well, I can be open. Well, it's like we have to unlearn what we've actually learned and relearn things that can be so challenging to accept, really cognitive dissonance and stuff like that. Like I'm not like a person that, you know, experiences a lot of, when it comes to certain situations. And if all of a sudden I'm engaging with a person that is igniting that, I go, okay, what inside of me is being triggered by this individual? And again, you gotta be so careful, because this can like, but this is where I'm at, where, okay, this person's triggering this inside of me. Where is this coming from? And usually you got to remember, between the ages of 0, even before that. So 0 and 7 is when we are really imprinted, right? So it's going back. And if we can, and again, it's work. If you're working, and again, you can listen to frequency music, go to Good Vibes binaural beats. That'll help start releasing the density out of our physical bodies. And stuff like that. Sasquatch for the trees, 100% disconnected. We working on that. Awesome. Well, yeah, I've seen a lot of your reels and your videos of nature, and it's so beautiful. You guys have, it's coming. Alberta's so much slower, and you guys have all the nice warm weathers. It's already like, what, summer out there? That's what it looks like. We still have kind of brown grass and no trees on the leaves yet. No leaves on the trees yet. So fear is an illusion. Absolutely, Melanie, it is an illusion. Right. Yep. Yep. Oh, what was I going to say on that? Fear is an illusion. And so even when you're, yeah, I was going to say something about love, and my book is over there. Sometimes I need that. Maynard, an elderly man I know, says he saw a softball size rainbow color orb in his house. Made his room really cold, and Mind Speak told him, don't go outside. Holographic. Yes. Real, but not real. Right? Because we're living in a matrix, right? Yeah. Sasquatch confessions. That was the shadow person that punched me. Yeah. Well, I figured that. I figured that out. I couldn't see it being Sasquatch. Totally understood what you're saying. Maynard, elderly fellow, told me he still went outside. A section of his yard was shoveled and no tracks. Interesting. Maybe it was ETs, extraterrestrial. I don't know, but interesting. So then maybe they just wanted to I don't know. Like, again, elemental, right? Came into the dimension, came into that natural, that realm, shoveled. And then again, what were they shoveling? What was there? Just clearing the pathway for him, maybe? River. Morris, Ash, I've had 8 encounters with our Yowies. The last sighting was 2 weeks ago near a cemetery. I think something has followed me home. Oh, so then that's where you would want to kind of tell it. So this is what I've learned from people that do paranormal stuff, that go in and get rid of ghosts and entities and stuff like that. You kind of like, especially like graveyards, cemeteries. This is where you can pick up these types of attachments. I'd really work on cleansing, use some sage, tell it to go, ask it to go home. No, tell it to go home. Even if you want to go back to where you thought it may have attached to you, there's ways you can detach and remove attachments like that. So to me, because my mom was at a funeral and she was literally pushed by an entity and she broke her ankle. It was like mind-blowing. So again, you know, when the games we'd play where you'd have to hold your breath going past the cemetery, you know, like all those little things that we did when we were young, or there was probably reasons behind that. And as we've been taken away from that, like we don't teach our children that. I don't think those types of things are around any longer, like hold your breath or do this, because we've changed as a collective society so much, and it's not always for the good. It's kind of made us unaware, you know, where's our discernment and stuff like that. So 80 in California. Julie, yes, in a cave in New Mexico. Cool. Sasquatch confessions. I experience Sasquatch all the time at home. They just gifted me a willow branch so I could make my prayer pipe tobacco. That's amazing. I was led to bring a dog named Willow into my life, and this dog is amazing. So much light around her. It's very interesting. I put the branches outside 24 hours later. Amazing glyph there. Awesome. Good for you. I've had no glyph action at all. No, actually, that's not true. And did I post it on YouTube in my shorts? Maybe. There was a structure out by the tree, and I'm like, what? And I literally waited for people to get home, and I said, what's this? Who put the rocks here? They're like, we don't put rocks here. I'm like, yep. And I mean, the energy was Sasquatch. The only person or being that I've seen place objects like this is the Sasquatch, because I've seen it in the deep, vast wilderness where no one's around, and they literally interlock rocks together. And I went, wow. And then there was a poplar branch really ripped in half and then placed on this branch. Like, it didn't just randomly place itself there. Royal Creations, peace. Julie, I did have an image while I was falling asleep after thanking them for caring for our forests. Very nice. It was the shape of a Sasquatch, which a bright aura, and had mind speak. Got your message. That's amazing. I love hearing stuff like that. Right? Because they know, and you're respecting them, even though you weren't out in nature, you're still showing respect, appreciation for what, you know, they're doing. That's amazing. Good for you, Julie. Maynard. Elderly man was dreading having to shovel. Oh, yeah, I bet. Shoveling can be a pain, especially if the snow is wet and heavy. He's watched by one of the watchers. I call Sasquatch the watchers. Right, and doesn't in I think that's what they call in discovering Bigfoot. I think he calls some of them, so the daytime ones, watchers. Yeah. In discovering Bigfoot's movie. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Sasquatch confessions. I used to never be into glyphs, but they started showing me with confirmation, so surely I couldn't deny it. Well, see, and that was the same with me. I couldn't deny it any longer. Glyphs, yep. And now it's like, from them teaching me that, it's notice what you notice. So when you're on the trail, like, are the sticks light? See, laying in different positions, like, yeah, it's just amazing. Saw an orb in a cave. Cool. Melanie. Mind speak is amazing, and amazing how some of us are aware, and we need to pass that to raise the vibrations, right? Sasquatch is helping with that now. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why, like, I was asked. That's why I said, let's call and ask and appreciate the essence of Sasquatch, and even Jane that likes to pop in here and there. Well, see, that's just whatever. I'm not even going to comment on that. Whoops. Nope, we're going to go like that. Anyways. There you go. Whatever. Saw that person on last night's live show too. Interesting. Notice what you notice, right? Anyways, yeah. So when I asked Sasquatch confession, Sasquatch don't discriminate. They don't judge. All are welcome. Yes. They don't judge. Well, and that's exactly it. And again, if we're judging, what are we judging within that person that we don't like about ourselves? Again, it's just a reflection. Everything's a reflection, and that's why we just have to, and it's challenging. Growth is challenging, and sometimes we catch ourselves judging, and it's like, as long as you can catch yourself and be like, course correct, apologize, for that behavior. Maynard, I call them the Watchers due to the female who entered one of the dreams and told me it's tiring watching the Watchers, isn't it? To hear about Jane, I think she's beautiful. Absolutely, right? She absolutely is beautiful, and I think when we come together as a collective on here, we really fall into our hearts and the coherence of the love of the heart and connection with nature. And if she's a medicine Sasquatch, I'm not going to say medicine woman, medicine, that she's more into the medicine, and I love nature for medicine and all of that. It's, definitely, she's the one that pierced my heart when I first met Sasquatch in the radium area. So Maynard, any questions, Tanya, feel free to ask. She is absolutely, she was the one I was attracted to from day one, watching, discovering Bigfoot back in, I think I got onto that was in 2021 when I saw that. And I was just like, wow, I was so drawn to her. People go, oh, so it's the eyes, right? and I just made a very interesting correlation with that. Maynard, I have sleep trouble, so I watch out the windows at random times at night. Okay. No one asked me how I felt seeing that. It looked like a baby's arm holding an apple. Yeah, okay, Paul. My Sasquatch is female and is a medicine woman. That's amazing. Sasquatch Confessions. Melanie, Jane is a healer. She loves Earth and adores you, Ash. Thank you. And again, I appreciate that. I do love Mother Earth, and I do love helping people. Like, I was asked, what's your quality? What type of characteristics? And I'm like, I should have said teacher. And I said, I like to help people, but I like to teach people how to help themselves is more like it, right? Like, I would describe my energy as a sunflower. Just sum me up, call it a sunflower. And I just love giving people the tools to become their own healers, you know, and be able to up level themselves and give them the tools. And again, we're consistently growing, and we're always going to be growing, using one another to up level. You know, it's a collective thing. We are all one. We are all going to grow together and heal us and heal the earth and, right, up level. Sasquatch Confessions. I know I'm connected to a few Sasquatch, though I only know her name, though. Right, so I mean, I'm connected to a few as well, because I always have two on the right, and it's not Jane. Okay, whatever. Sasquatch Confessions. Thanks for sharing that, Paul. It's... Okay. Oh, goodness. That is what it's all about. The up level, Ash. You got it, right? Exactly. Ash, a helper. That's nice. Well, thank you. I mean, yeah. I just have a passion for helping people be the best that they can be on all levels. Rob Bob. Right. Hi. Hello, hello. Welcome. Maynard. Ash, have you actually seen the so-called Jane, or do you just go by Todd's picture? No, I've only interacted. I've never seen her physically. I found her track, put my foot in her track. She gave up the whoops when we gifted the apples. She's the one that pierced my heart. And when we were, well, okay, like I was like and there was some other ones. I mean, I have to really write on my, and I'd seen the so-called Jane, or do you just go by Todd's picture? Yeah. So no, I go by the energy of who I was interacting with when I was first introduced to that tribe of Sasquatch. It doesn't feel, and I'm gonna just be honest and transparent. No, because maybe I might get in trouble for that one. I think George of the Jungle can take Bigfoot. Yeah. Who knows, right? Tanya, I think Jane will continue to work with you, Ash. Thank you. I'm excited to see the healing wisdom she'll share with you. You have a totally unique relationship with her. Absolutely. And see, and that's where I gifted her my medicine. I was told or guided to, so what I feed humans is what they wanted me to create and bring to them when I went out, and then I gifted them. So that was my medicine given to her to just build a relationship, never in the expectation of anything coming back, right? So as I work that way with her, I feel, and want to guess, like, again, it's following the energy, following the breadcrumbs. I learned so much new things when I'm out in the wilderness on my own. I'd like to go out with people and, you know, learn the way of the woods, of what they perceive, you know, just to have that knowledge. But yeah, she sends you messages. Thank you. Yes, I agree. Craig, I almost died helping someone, and my brother told me I should stop helping people, but I said, that's what I do. That's what we're on earth for, I feel, right? And that's when it even comes to animals. You know, like, I'm not going to allow an animal to sit there and starve to death, whether it is a deer or a rabbit or a mouse. You know, like, we are evolved enough to be able to help people. And especially if we have the wisdom to help people. I mean, if they're willing and wanting and wanting to change and have that desire, then absolutely, there's nothing. Now, if it's toxic and they're not learning their lessons, I mean, you could go down Craig, I don't know what the situation was, but there are certain people, like I've had to explain that this person is not learning their lessons. We've had 40 years, if not 40 plus years, of this person doing this certain thing. They're not changing, you know, so that I would take into consideration with not always helping people. So again, you could help by going, no, I'm going to have to remove myself. If it's a toxic, and maybe toxic isn't the right word, maybe if they're not learning their lessons, you'd have to be like, nope, you haven't learned this lesson. And until you learn this, and be so transparent with them, right? But we are here to help for sure. One another and the animals and earth and all of it, right? Because we're all interconnected. It could mean life or death. No, I would definitely run for the hills. If you need me to comment on that, run for the hills, absolutely. Maynard. Oh, nope, Sasquatch confessions. My Sasquatch walks with me everywhere I go. They followed me to Merritt for 2 months on the work trip. Yeah, and they've done that to me too when I worked at the light cellar, and they would come in as, I swear, use people as conduits because no one else knows that except Sasquatch. So, right. Totally agree, Paul. Really? Neither does Patty. It's a legitimate question. Could mean life or death. Yep, Craig. No, nothing that way. Just good stuff. Absolutely, right? So, I mean, you're going to be smart enough to figure out that. And, you know, and that's where a lot of people go on the run. We're not going to help. And the people that you think that don't need the help are probably the ones that need it the most. And that's in a healthy way, not in a bad way, right? Like, not an alcoholic, or like I gave $10, but I don't usually give money out unless the energy and spirit said give that person $10. And I was like, oh, and my daughter's like, what are you doing, Mom? And I'm like, well, I was just listening to whatever spirit, because I, you know, like, are they, I read the sign and it totally just was it resonated with me, and I was like, okay, I have the ability to do this, so I passed it to her. And however I had to detach from the energy of how she wanted to use it was going to be up to her, because usually I had a hard time because of they're using that money for the things that aren't going to help them, right? So this person didn't display that, and for spirit to go and say that, there was a bigger meaning behind that, and however that is. So I had to teach my daughter, no, see, when spirit speaks, we want to listen and take that. I mean, who knows? It was $10. It was $10 I was able to contribute in you know, the way society is, like, people need a hand up sometimes, and wherever that $10 goes, I just pray, and I blessed it with the intention of it being for good use. Sasquatch confessions. We are opening the minds and eyes of the masses, helping save along the way. Masses helping save. Well, exactly. Exactly. It's all interlinked, right? I would love to encounter some glyphs. You will, Julie. Absolutely. You're so connected. You're so connected that way. I mean, again, when you go to visit wherever you remember, you think you mentioned Colorado or Denver or whatever, it's just leaving those glyphs and seeing what happens. And again, the only reason I was into glyphs is because Sasquatch really made it, like, no doubt, that's a glyph and that is for me, and we're going to be open to that now. And then it started coming into place. Notice what you notice, and that's out of the ordinary, and that's definitely not nature made and stuff like that. Exactly, Craig. I got a bravery award for helping a drowning woman when I was 10 years old. Lots just stood and watched my pal, and I went into the sea and pulled her out. Good for you, Kirsty. We're here to be kind and help. Absolutely, and if we have the ability to do it, I totally agree. And that's the sad part. You know, humans have gone so far away from that, and I can have sympathy and empathy for some of it. You know, like people on the highway, they won't even pull over anymore, you know, and you know, myself, if I were to be pulled over, it's like, would I want someone, am I going to trust that individual to come and help me? You know, there's that, we have such a rift in society that way. It, it, it is disheartening, but we can raise our own vibration consciousness, and that will, you know, that stuff will fall away, like let go of the anchors, right? Like I said, it looked like a baby arm holding an apple. Yeah, we heard you, Paul. Thank you. Tanya Moore, Ash is being a tree ambassador on your radar. I can see you rebuilding the forest to help the Bigfoot territories. I've never actually, that resonates, but I've planted so many trees. So on this property, all these trees, there's a lot. This wasn't a forest, and now it's a forest, and like they were all planted. And I used to landscape and garden due to the fact that I loved just giving back and planting and putting that imprint on society, just to help grow Mother Nature that way, right? And especially in cities where trees and stuff are needed the most. But that's something I'm definitely open to for sure, Tanya. Sasquatch Confessions, do you find people like us that help have sometimes been through the most? Right? I do find that. I do. And sometimes maybe like people said, people have said, well, it's because you have wisdom and you're strong. And it's like, oh my goodness. Sometimes I don't know if I can have the strength to keep going, because it's like, it's hard to be strong and, you know, like how many lessons does one have to learn to do that? But I guess that's why we're here, right? To learn the lessons, and we're just able to learn those, because I mean, I've learned some very challenging lessons. I'd be speaking some truth in one of my videos, then look down, boom, standing on a glyph. Paul, they don't pull over because they know Bigfoot is out there. Well, yeah, there you go, right? They don't pull over because Bigfoot is out there. Might be hiding in a car. Harmony Woods, do you think it's better to replant trees or let nature do it? I definitely think it's we need to replant trees, because if we don't, then what happens to them when they're all gone? And if humanity doesn't allow trees to do it naturally, or let Mother Nature do it naturally, there are so many things that can prevent nature from taking her true course right now. Maybe we will, as we upshift and up level and move to this new earth, that nature can have the ability to bring back her own. But I think, and I wouldn't say better, it just helps, you know, as we replant trees, it just helps nature. And again, if they're that's a hard one, because that could go in so many if they know how to replant the correct trees in certain areas, because there is a cycle of trees, right? Like where I am, we're up in northern, there's birch. So birch is going to remineralize the soil. They're going to rebuild the forest, and then here come the poplars or the aspens, and then the spruces or the Douglas firs, right? So there's like a natural cycle of the trees all together, right? So and again, it's going to depend on the area. They do destroy the terrain. Like, let's say we're talking about logging, they destroy the terrain. There's no nutrition. All that nutrition is washed away when there's, you know, like rainstorms, floods. So it's a big cycle that is, oh, it hurts my heart to even talk about it, because it is so devastating and damaging. So I feel that it's important to do the best that we can, and replanting when necessary, and allowing nature to take its course where necessary and when necessary as well, right? Was it man-made? And now we can't even tell, was it man or was it nature? because there's so much devastation going on. But again, I believe that's all changing. I feel that so much, Ash. Be strong, right? Yes. Boom, boom, boom. So it's just school for us, Earth, right? School, Earth. Yep, the hardest thing. And I signed up for this. I said this time I'm graduating. I'm graduating this time when I go back into energy. Hopefully. Who knows? Maynard, you don't need to be strong, just need to make friends that are in dark places that are strong. Sasquatch. Yeah. Harmony. Woods, yep, a tough one, absolutely. Melanie, we are all on our journey. That's why it's not good to judge. Yes, absolutely. We all have to learn. The earth is dense and the most challenging. I agree. We are seeing here in the cloud forest of Mexico. Yeah, I hear your soil replenishment. Exactly. And again, what's being dumped on us from above, and whether we want to believe it or not, it's happening, and I can't be arrogant, or it's happening. So all that is going into the ground and it's wrecking the soil. Trees are going brown, and trees shouldn't be going brown, and that's because of what is happening. So as we up level and the consciousness rises, it will disappear. It'll all just fall away, and the cycle of nature can, you know, Bigfoot is still horn dog. Yep. Melanie, some sign up to come back. Some come back to get rid of the wheel of karma. Yes, right? The wheel of karma. That karma. I don't know how I feel about that. Because people say, oh, karma will get them. And then I go, I don't see it, but okay. And I guess karma in another life? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. What are your thoughts on Sasquatch Sunset, the new movie? Sasquatch Sunset, the new movie. I never knew there was a new movie called Sasquatch Sunset, Sasquatch Confessions. Had no idea. I try to find... It's so challenging. Is that the new movie that's coming out? Sunset Sas... Now I don't even know who's playing. You know, like I know there's Paul that's not stopping, and then you got Sasquatch Confessions. Like, is this a real movie or a documentary? Like, I don't know. Where am I gonna find that? YouTube? Well, that's what I was gonna say. So I don't know where your guys' heads are at right now. Yep. Mike, hi again. What does Todd Standing think about all of this? He comes across as Sasquatch is an super intelligent being. Does he believe they can do all these things other creatures can't? Okay. Am I going to have to comment on behalf of that person? Yes, I guess so. Yes, he does believe that they are super intelligent, as what he says to myself. So, I understand his perspectives and having the physical aspect and all of that kind of stuff, because there is going to be a collective of humans that need that physical documentation, physical representation, because they don't understand the super intelligent energy type of stuff, right? So he does believe it. He has seen it. He has had to confess certain things to me due to what I've experienced out in nature. And I was quite upset with that individual, because I was put in a situation that I wasn't, and I'm aware. I mean, I'm aware of quantum. I'm aware of all this kind of stuff, but you know, things happened and I was like, you knew about this? Yeah, but I didn't know how to tell you. And it's like, so, I mean, again, we have to keep all doors open, and yes, he keeps his mind open to that stuff, and does, and maybe it will just stick to more of that kind of stuff right now. But he, on the other hand, you come out and if you were to go out and engage, I mean, again, a lot of people need that physical And when he, you know, people aren't maybe open, and some people don't know how to explain to people that are going to understand, right? So again, he does believe that. And so yeah, you're presuming that he does believe. Yes, he does believe, and I think he has a lot of knowing of what goes on with Sasquatch being a super intelligent being and the other creatures, right? Oh, I mean, I guess, what are you meaning by creatures? Like wildlife or like dogmen and stuff? Because I know he doesn't do that kind of stuff, won't go in that, and I totally respect and understand why he doesn't. Because you don't want to put your energy in certain areas that it's not what you're researching, right? And again, to be on this discovery of Bigfoot, you really have to go inside and discover yourself. So, and being out in the forest, I think really can, especially, you know, if he's been out there on weeks on end and stuff, there's things that he's had to have witnessed, had to have experienced, and being on expedition and stuff and hearing some of the stories, I mean, he's not going to share maybe publicly, but with the people that he's been on expedition with, that it's like, wow, okay. So he does know, and just, you know, is open to sharing when asked the correct questions. Don't look it up unless you want to laugh. Okay, I won't look it up then. Thanks for that, Sasquatch Confessions. I'll send a clip. Okay, send a clip via you know where I am on Instagram. Probably dumb as shit, but probably funny. I agree. Probably dumb as shit and probably funny. And laughter is always good for our souls, right? Have you noticed a connection between Bigfoot and hot springs? Ooh. Bigfoot and not really hot springs, but that's such a loaded question. I can go down this hole. So I want to say, you asking me that question, I can say that to be true. There can be a connection, but then I think there's also other connections of being hot spots. Like, is there quartz in the area? Is there gold in the area? Is there certain minerals that are healing that they're using and they know and they want to keep safe, and that's why they're in that area? And again, are they using these certain minerals or quartz for teleportation and higher frequencies? You know, like, I think there is. When the last ones out at the research site were Roxanne and I, and there was snow on the ground, and we were walking, and there was some weird stuff. I mean, I don't know if I posted the pictures on YouTube. I think on Instagram there, maybe not even there. There was a rock, and there was no snow, and I touched it and it was warm, and I'm like, interesting. And okay, and I don't want to, it was like they were saying, go underground. You're not looking underground. I'm like, okay, that's not cool, because you can go, there's so many open holes, reptilians, blah, 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 on being underground, right? But why did they? Are there taverns? Are there hot springs? Like, are there channels? You know, why was that rock hot? And there was a lot of indications and a channeling that it's like, no, underground. They really wanted us to be discovering underground type of things. It was very interesting. So hot springs, maybe not, but like, yeah, I mean, because I haven't seen any hot springs where I have interactions. Okay, so even west of where I am right now, there's no hot springs. So thermals, maybe, like where the ground has like thermals. There's ley lines, right? Like, are they following ley lines? I don't know. Like, it's so hard to try to go and research that type of stuff, because it's like, what do you look for? I've tried to look at energy ley lines. I was going to have a Zoom call with someone in the States that knows a lot of the energy grids and ley lines on the earth, and wanted to see where I was having interactions, to see what Harrison Hot Springs, see exactly, and Radium Hot Springs, but we're far enough away that, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think there's definitely hot spots, like hot pools. Craig. There truly is a lot we don't know, right? It's good to listen to everything and come to your own answers. Absolute discernment, right? Come to our own truth, our own discernment, and that's where I love keeping my ears open and listening, and I'll file cabinet. Like, oh, that'll go there, that'll go there, that'll go there. And just because you never know, it might pop up and be like, oh, that person said this, and yes. And I mean, that's where I went. Portal Sasquatch being portals themselves, I wouldn't even have thought of that until that lady mentioned, or and I was just like, yeah, like, how did I not see that? But sometimes we don't see it and we need to pull back our lens, and people in this discovery will help pull back the lens and look at a bigger picture, because you know, we have this bird's eye view, we have to pull back, and sometimes we can't, or it's not can't, it's more of a challenge to pull back when we're not being questioned or listening on that level. Okay, so I like the way you're thinking with your hot springs theory or area idea. But yes, anyways, here, I'll just go like this. As long as that was the right person, right? Remove. Okay, so there we go. Sorry. But, yeah. The hot springs and all of that. So there is Paul and Philos, so leave here and go, okay, yes, we got that. But yeah, it's like, notice what you notice, and that's where I go. I'll know, you know, looking underneath, looking for hot spots. Thermals, I've been told about thermals, like underground thermals. Caves can have more. Well done. Thank you. I guess maybe, you know, I thought, yeah, get moderators. But I can do that myself, I guess. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for sharing this time here and up-leveling our conscious around Sasquatch and healing humanity, awakening humanity alongside Bigfoot, Jane, Sasquatch, Sabe, right? We want to thank you for all that essence. And Kirsty, I would love to make you one. If you're open to it, Maynard. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you guys are always here. I would definitely appreciate help in that. The Sasquatch can be the portal. They can open the portal. If I ever disappear, that's where I went. Well, that's what I say. I say if I ever disappear, you just got to go find. You ever talk with Andy from Todd's Live? Yeah, he doesn't have time to moderate my live. He told me that. I think of my second live. He's like, I can't. Thanks for your time. You're welcome. Thanks for being here, Craig. And yes, okay, here, Kirsty. And I love your support. Okay, add as a moderator. Let's see if this works. Standard can manage block words. There we go. As I talk out loud. Okay, so Kirsty, I'm now managing moderator. If you want to just put and see if you go blue. Tanya, thank you, woman. You're welcome. It's all very interesting. You're welcome, Melanie. There's still more to chat about. Hope to see you soon, right? There's always more to chat about. Great job. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for all being here. You have a great night. Take care. Stay tuned for some more videos. I wanted to place some more. We'll be going to the wilderness shortly. Yeah. Yay. There you go. Well, thanks for joining this great night and another interesting story. And we will all catch probably next Thursday. Thanks, guys. See you later. Thanks for being here. Bless.